welcome to the Finance Show without Joe. And today I'm going to talk about why you feel poor in Australia. Brian, do you know why you feel poor in Australia?
How long do you have?
Well, we've got about a half-hour recording session.
It feels like therapy now.
Let's break it down.
Let's break it down. Why do we feel poor? Is there a real reason behind it, or is there some numbers that you can give me? Because I feel like I'm poor because there's not things are expensive and my wages aren't growing with whatever I have to buy. So
Well, that's essentially what's going on. So we're not in a recession, even though maybe there's been arguments. I actually saw Mark Boris talking about this the other day. He's like, maybe we should be in a recession. That's not what this episode's about, but we're actually in something called a per-capita recession, right? So basically, that's when your country's overall output, the GDP, it's growing slower than the population. Per-capita recession, it's not a traditional recession. The average individual's share of the economic pie shrinks, so leading to a noticeable drop in your personal living standards. So that's what I'm talking about. That's why you feel poor, even though Australia, on paper, is actually doing fine.
We're okay.
We're okay. Not great, but okay.
Okay, better than the rest.
But boots on the ground, how it actually feels. I mean, can you tell? Like, I have to go out every off weekend. It's a fortnightly thing instead of like a every weekend type of thing, like going out to dinner or bars or whatever it is. Are you noticing like something similar?
Yeah, because I feel like we're at the stage where even if I want to go out and do something, I now have more of a second thought. And it's not just because I'm trying to save money. It's more so because like even with saving money, or even if I was going to be spending like a lunatic, it's harder for me to afford it considering all the expenses that happen. Like, let's say, for example, I have to travel, right? I've got to drive wherever I go. The cost of petrol has gone up.
We know this.
I have to pay for tolls depending on where you are. The tolls change in price, but they're fairly expensive.
In Sydney especially.
Yeah. If I get to wherever I need to get to, I'm going to eat probably. That's depending on where you're eating, a minimum of, let's say being modest in Sydney, because there's most places you can't buy food for $20, but let's say $20. I don't even want to break down how much that is, and I haven't even done what I need to do.
And you haven't even got the Uber home yet.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, don't even start with Ubers. I drive to make sure I avoid Ubers.
Okay.
Because I know I have to spend money on petrol anyway, so I'm just like, look.
Yeah. And it's even at the grocery shop, right? Like these prices go up. So obviously inflation going up during the pandemic, not specific to Australia. That's a global phenomenon. But that doesn't mean we're not feeling the pinch. And Michelle Bullock said this the other day, when she announced that the rates were being held, is that once these prices go up, they do not come down.
Oh yeah, no.
Like this is it. Like this is until our wages catch up, which I don't know when that's going to happen, if that's going to happen. Here's the thing: we are not in a per capita recession anymore. But once again, the numbers are so small that it feels like it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
so
when did that happen?
So here's this is from the Australian Bureau of Statistics, and this is for the last 4 quarters. 0.6% growth, 0% growth, plus 0.5% growth, and then minus 0.1%. So for a recession, you have to have negative growth for two successive quarters. Now, technically, we are no longer in a capital recession.
Technically. Still feels like it though.
Oh yeah, I'm still feeling it, and it just doesn't really matter. And I've seen some people talk about this. It's turning into a K-shaped economy.
Yeah.
So you've got the median, the middle, and then from there, there's two different ways. The higher income earners are doing just fine.
Yeah.
Lower income earners are feeling the pinch more.
Yeah. Okay.
Higher income earners, their wealth is tied into investments.
Yeah.
And things like that. And these things grow with the prosperity of the country, right? Like if you invest in real estate.
Yeah.
If real estate's doing well, it's usually because Australia is doing well, usually.
Well, and most of them usually have things like people who, I don't know, like financial advisors and people who make trades and stuff for them if they have investments, and they'll advise them on what to do in certain situations. So even when things aren't going that well, they know how to move their money in ways where they can actually be prosperous during a downturn for the globe, for like the whole economy.
But it's even so, like, they've got more money to withstand the blow,
and play with,
and then play with, exactly. So, like, if you're on the lower arm of the K, you're probably an hourly worker. You don't have any investments outside of your super. You probably don't own your own home.
Yeah,
not 100%, but probably. The cost of living pressures are going to hit you hard.
Yeah,
because you are literally just. You get money in and money goes out, money in, money out. And you're not getting any interest or anything back.
Yeah. I hate to quote Andrew Tate, unfortunately. But he explained it actually perfectly. He said the reason that rich people can stay rich as long as they do is that they don't have to sell stock in a certain economy to stay afloat. They can keep a stock that's going down and actually buy more of it while it's down at like a discount. And then when it goes back up, you've gotten it for less. So now your returns are more. Whereas an average person who's investing, sometimes when things get tough, now your automatic thought is, oh, I need to sell this off to make sure I don't lose too much money from that. So and that's kind of why the wealth gap also increases too, because these people are investing with money that they can play with. So like they've mentally already like lost that money.
Yeah, playing with house money.
Yeah. Like it's monopoly for them.
Yeah.
They don't care if it goes. That's also part of the reason why you'll see like that K-shaped diagram where they're just getting richer and everyone else is just getting poorer.
You know, when we're discussing the tax reforms and stuff that have been, you know, still up in the air as to what they'll look like, I imagine that that's what they're trying to fight back against, like this K-shaped thing. But again, is it? Because I don't know.
Look, in theory, you hope that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But then it just feels like they're just vibing whatever decisions that they're making. Not to poorly talk the government, but sometimes that's what it feels like.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to that lucky country quote.
Yeah.
But we've been using it wrong. We're the lucky country, according to the book that it's from, is that we're lucky because our higher ups, our government makes poor decisions, but it turns out okay despite everything anyway.
Yeah.
That's why we're the lucky country. And that's been a consistent trend. Like we have the economic diversity of a developing African nation that is mostly like built on mining and agriculture.
Yeah.
But our country is not the same as something that's happening in like Central Africa or something.
Yeah.
Granted, we have stability and stuff like that.
Unemployment isn't as low here,
and we don't have like civil wars or anything.
Yeah.
Like you know, we have state of origin. That's as close as we get.
Yeah, blues versus maroons.
That's the real split.
There's both problems.
Yeah. Look, I don't really know what the solution is. I don't know if this is something that even we or the Australian government can fix for us.
No, I don't think it is. I think this is, look, I'm sure there's things they can put into place to fix it. But what the past has shown us is that sometimes dramatic change right away can cause a different problem.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't want that kind of issue happening where now where we've created a bigger mess than we needed to. Sometimes we just need to focus on gradually getting better. Look, I think a lot of the time we blame governments for like not doing certain things, but sometimes those are the best options they had at hand.
Yeah, it's one of those things as well as like the governments have big pictures, right?
Yeah.
They have information that we don't have, or they have specialists that can explain the economy.
Yeah.
That is not me.
Yeah.
Because I understand how it works on a very basic level.
Yeah.
Ask me anything else, forget about it.
Yeah, look, I'm guilty of only following American politics more than I follow Australian politics until like something big happens. So I'm probably not the best person to ask about that. I've looked into it more recently, but still, it's not as exciting as American politics. They're interesting.
I'm kind of glad for that though.
Yeah.
Because I purposely like I can't consume the American politics, like the everyday stuff that they've got going on. I just can't. It's exhausting.
Yeah, I'm glad we have boring politics. It just means that we have less, crazy stuff going on.
I wonder if it's a cultural thing or if it's just like things just really are crazy. Because obviously, I'm sure the average American is living like they mostly always have. I don't know. I don't have any friends or anything over there, so I've got no experience. Just online.
It's pretty rough over there too, and they're a bigger country as well. We have to like consider that too.
Yeah.
So when these changes start happening, because they're a bigger country, of course, there's a lot more people on the lower end that are being affected, even the middle class.
Right.
But I'm sure our middle class is bigger in relation to the US.
Yes. Yeah. I would.
Like if we look at a ratio, obviously not the number of people, but if we look at a ratio, I'm sure our middle class is bigger. Whereas America, their biggest issue right now is they've basically eradicated the middle class. You're either ultra wealthy or you're dirt poor, which is ridiculous.
I saw someone describe it. Is that in America, and this was more like for career opportunities, but I think it works broadly. Is America, you can achieve really high highs. Like the ceiling is really high.
Yeah.
And the lows are really, really low.
Extremely low.
Whereas in Australia, the highs might not be so high, but the lows are also not that low. So you've got this like
The middle's great.
safer, stable sort of thing going on.
Yeah.
But again, if you're the ambitious type, probably not that appealing to you.
Yeah. Well, that's probably also why they have such a high homeless population as well. Because like I went to LA and I think I saw the most attractive homeless people I've ever seen in my life. And it was confusing, but then when you think about it, it makes sense, right? Because you're like, they're probably all like aspiring artists or whatever it is, because everyone goes there for actors, musicians, everyone in the creative fields, they all go there. And then obviously they come on tough times. That's what it leads to. So it's a very interesting country.
I've heard that the middle class has been eaten away in Australia as well. Maybe this is a late stage capitalism thing as things just move along. And I think this is part of the reason why like you're getting like One Nation really starting on the come up, right? Because it's sort of similar to what happened in the US. You get that people are dissatisfied with the status quo, basically. Yeah. So you're like, something needs to change. And obviously, you know, Labor and Liberal, the center parties, they are the status quo.
Yeah.
There used to be a joke that there was no difference between Liberal and Labor. It feels a bit different now, but granted, the Labor Party is changing, the Liberal Party hasn't, and which is why they're not getting voted in at all. And One Nation is just offering. Well, I personally see it as a protest, though, but I'm not dismissing it because I remember the same conversations happening back in 2016 when Donald Trump was first campaigning, and everyone's like, "This is stupid. He's never going to get in." Blah 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 blah. When we all know how that went.
Yeah.
So I'm not like dismissing Pauline Hanson or anything like that.
Yeah, you can't. You really can't. Especially when people are in a situation where like now everyone's searching for answers and they want change, and now the change might just come from the complete opposite side to what you thought you wanted.
Yeah. Did you happen to watch her press conference thing or like any of it?
When they had that little sign.
Well, there's that sign, but that was whatever. That's not actually what I wanted to talk about. But yeah, I did see the sign.
Yeah, I've seen her talk a few times. Look, I don't really, like I said, I don't follow politics that much. I've seen a few of the clips of her talking. And look, a broken clock can be right twice a day as well. So like sometimes I agree with her, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how to position my views on that situation.
Yeah, my thing was from her recent press conference that she did, she said that she wanted to abolish SBS, which I thought was interesting, considering the World Cup's on there right now.
Like one of the only places we can watch free-to-air sport. Great, okay.
Yeah, ABC
don't have my vote.
Yeah, the ABC to become subscription only unless you're in the regions.
Okay.
And no government funding. And she wants to ban The Guardian. So basically all left-leaning outlets in Australia. And it's like pretty obvious where...
See, and that's where you lose me.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. She says she doesn't believe in multiculturalism, so that should go away. So there goes the Socceroos side.
Fair enough, I guess.
And then economically, outside of limiting migration numbers, which I think the broad Australian population agrees with, I don't actually see any economic plans.
I think, and this is the same thing when it comes to like Donald Trump, right? When you have people who are big personalities, sometimes their big personalities puts them in certain rooms that people start listening to them. And because they're the shiny object of the situation and they seem like the best of the worst options, you're now going to get a situation where people will start voting for Pauline, and then there's no real explanation as to what else she's doing for the economy besides, stopping SBS. Like there's no, like Donald Trump comes into a presidency, that he's a businessman and he's purely numbers. He's looking at the business side of America. That's what you're going to get from him.
So if you give $300 billion to Iran.
Yeah.
That's good business. That's the art of the deal.
That's what you need to do. But it's like, that's who you expect, right?
Yeah.
So like, if we're now putting, I don't know, whoever we put into power, I don't really, whoever we put into power, you have to realize who you're putting in based off what they've been showing you for X amount of time.
Yeah.
You can't just now expect Pauline now to say, no, I really want immigration to continue. No, that's not what you're getting from her. Like, listen to people.
Yeah. Honestly, I actually think it would be a slam dunk for Labor if they just reduced immigration numbers. Like, straight up, I think One Nation loses a lot of legs after that point. Not completely.
Yeah.
But a lot of legs.
Everyone will be happy.
I think the broad appeal of One Nation isn't there. I still think that a little, like, some of their opinions, even my dad is like, all right, calm down with some of that shit.
they're on the extreme end of the spectrum where it's like very hard to, like, if you had more of a middle ground approach to it, I'd be more willing to listen to it.
Just be more reasonable.
Just be more reasonable. But it's like, if you're so far to the other side, like, how can I feel stupid agreeing with you. like even if I do like some of the things you're saying, I can't physically bring myself to.
100%. Well, look, the next federal election is not for 2 years. It's not till 2028. Jeez. So I'm not saying that the One Nation is a mirage or anything like that, but I am saying a lot can happen in 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, Labour won this last election purely because Donald Trump won and a bunch of shit happened in the news, and Peter Dutton was running on a very similar like campaign.
Yeah.
And people are like, no, we don't want that. And that was just timing. That was just timing. That was nothing else. Also, Labour was like an incumbent government, which usually wins like 2 in a row.
Yeah.
But it's not like Albo's never really been that popular.
Yeah, no, never.
People really don't like him. Also, funny aside, do you think it's funny that Pauline Hanson and Donald Trump are both orange? Coincidence?
Is it a ginger thing? Is hating immigration a ginger thing? There was that period of time where they were saying that gingers were black. So like, I'm not.
That South Park episode where like gingers have no souls.
Yeah. It's like, what are we doing here? It must be a ginger thing. So like, all things aside, jokey jokes aside.
Yeah.
For the average Australian, what do you think is something that you can take into your own control to try to mitigate the effects of these changes in terms of our cost of living skyrocketing, but our wages not moving at the same
pace?
Yeah.
To be honest, you're asking me, I'm a bit of a pessimist.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do except adjust to the new reality.
Yeah.
And you can be frustrated and you can be angry.
Yeah.
But you've also got to kind of understand that it's kind of never going to go back to the way it was, no matter what anyone promises you. You can't go back in time. It's never gone back.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I keep harping on about Donald Trump and that sort of stuff, but the reason is because the One Nation it's sort of following the same playbook.
Yeah.
And, you know, they can't make America great again, right? Yeah. When? And okay, let's just say it was the 80s and Reagan and stuff's conservatives' favorite time, the 80s. It wasn't that good in the 80s at the time. You had the imminent threat of nuclear destruction with the Cold War going on. You had like things were getting better economically from the 70s and stuff, which is probably what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But the economy in the US right now is not like, it's doing okay.
Yeah, but it's honestly only doing okay because of the upper end anyways.
Yeah, and I'm sure all the stuff that happened in Iran did not help.
No. Oh, no chance.
Inflation's running high. I know that, you know, America's got Venezuelan oil now, so I'm sure that the prices.
Stuff.
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
That's the good stuff.
I don't want Australia to go on that same trajectory.
Yeah.
And we probably won't, because really I feel like it's more similar to the UK, right? You've got over there, you've got Reform, the Reform Party becoming a big movement.
Yeah.
And they've got their own Labour Party in there with their own extremely disliked Labour leader. It's very, very eerily similar.
Yeah.
Huge polling numbers for Reform that do materialize that election, not in the huge landslide that they expected, but more than like essentially getting rid of the traditional Conservative Party, which for us is the Liberals. For them, it's the Conservative Party, the Tories.
Yeah.
So that's gone. That's the same thing that's happened here.
Yeah.
So the UK is just a few months ahead of us. They're also having big problems with housing and immigration.
From our conversation, all I can hear is we should stop immigration for a little while, for however long it takes, and just keep on building more homes to make sure that we have enough infrastructure to cope with what we currently have.
Yeah.
To make sure that, you know, our people kind of stay afloat.
Yeah, and I think tying immigration to housing, like housing creation, new developed dwellings and stuff like that. So tying them together. So the amount of immigrants you bring in, permanent residents and stuff like that, is equal to the amount of new housing or available housing or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems to make sense, but again, I'm not an economist, and I know that someone has a problem with this.
But it also has to be based off the actual houses that are actually being constructed.
Like, not in theory.
Not the theoretical, like, oh yeah, we're going to make 80,000 new homes, only 400 are only 400 are made, right? So I hear what you're saying though. It just everything has to correlate to balance everything out. And then that way we stop having people with their pitchforks out talking about immigration because
it also just lets racists run
that's
wild.
the problem.
Because there's like a real economic discussion to be had and an infrastructure argument to be had about immigration and the influx of immigration into Australia. But man, is it so easy to get racist with it?
Yeah.
Like, well, for some people. Like we already know that like at some of those, like the neo-Nazis were there. Granted that they're illegal now, so they're gone.
Sure.
So like that, that's why I'm always like, I don't want to talk about it because it just leaves the door open.
Yeah, but look, here's the thing: you have to also talk about these things to actually address them. So there is going to be a lot of a lot of shit sticking to walls and that. So there's no real way to address it without pissing off some people and getting some extremists. But also, it's a necessary evil to happen to make sure that changes can be made. Like, and this is coming from an immigrant. I think immigration should be stopped to a certain degree as well, until we can get to a point where everyone can be looked after. I mean, that way we don't have racists running red, but talking about send them all home.
Yeah, send them back. And we're like, all right, calm down.
Yeah, that's not necessarily possible. The general summary that I could give is that we need to stop relying on governments. This is where we have our biggest problem, because if you keep on waiting for things like reforms, bills to be passed, petitions to go through and whatnot, there's no real way of guaranteeing that is going to happen. You need to figure out what's going on, what affects you, and kind of adjust and be like, okay, well, if these are the rules that are in place, how do I use these rules to my advantage? Someone who does that very well is what's his name? Jack Henderson.
Right.
Who talks about he's self-accountable, is that the word?
Yeah.
Accountable to self.
He holds himself accountable.
Yeah, he holds himself completely accountable for like his destiny as a person.
Right.
So he's obviously extreme sometimes, but he's like, I don't vote at all. I go put in a blank ballot. I just won't show up to the polling booths because I don't care who's in power. It doesn't really affect me, which, as bad as it sounds, I think you need to operate that way at times, because if you don't operate that way, you leave yourself super susceptible to these things.
There is a sense that, the hyper individualism, right? Doing it yourself, taking control, taking the reins of your own life, right? That's all well and good, but nobody exists in a vacuum, right? Nobody's done anything by themselves completely. Everyone's gotten help from someone in some capacity. Like even just the little things of the school that you would have gone to, the roads that you used to get there, the hospital that you were born in, and so on and so forth. It's it's not the end of the world if you do it. If you are upset with the way things are, your only voice is the ballot box.
Yeah.
If an election's just happened and things are changing and you don't like it, all right, focus on yourself, focus on what you can do.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of people who can't do that. And I don't know what the answer is. Like, can everyone pull themselves up by their bootstraps? I don't think everyone has the opportunity, because everyone's got the opportunity, but everyone's got different hurdles, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you're born with a mental illness, and I'm not talking like anything severe, but something that like debilitates you, like on occasion, like say if you got bipolar.
Yeah, true.
You could have the best month ever when you're on your high, and then when you're on your low, you've ruined your career. You've burned bridges. You've done this, that, and the other. I don't know if like that person is going to be okay if they're just left on their own.
The best way to do it is by providing everyone with the information, I guess, and the tools to help them get to that stage. And those who can utilize it, and those who can't, well, unfortunately, regardless of the fact you're going to be left behind, there's no winner in this situation. Look, there's winners.
There are winners.
There's most certainly winners in the situation, but in reality, like you can make yourself a winner. Yeah. Or you can make yourself close enough to a winner that you don't feel the effects as much.
Yeah. And it does come down to working hard and not taking a victim mentality as well, which is honestly, it's a little hard to not do that in Australia because we're a nanny state.
Yeah.
The government really coddles us. Yeah. And I don't know how many people in this country are even aware how coddled we are. Oh, precious baby, don't worry. You won't go bankrupt, so you'll be okay.
They don't until things start slowly getting taken away from them. And I think that's why like the whole budget, which was like a massive thing in the last few weeks. I think that kind of, it showcased what you can do when everyone gets together for like common good, which is great to see. But it also shows that there are certain situations where you have to take matters into your own hands. I'm not saying like protesting. I'm saying like you need to adjust and pivot. For whatever reason, we're making this podcast after they've said that they're gonna go back on their whole CGT changes.
Yeah, some of them. So like that $2 million turnover thing for the small businesses, that's gone. It's increased to 10 million. So
So
you should keep the 50% discount now.
Yeah. So like for things like that, those people who are business owners were obviously going to pivot and do something else if these changes went through.
Yeah.
But that's like a perfect example of you can only control so much. So like after that point, there needs to be a way you can adjust, whether it's I'm sure there's a way for people to adjust, right? So most business owners have things like financial advisors, right? So I wouldn't say you need a financial advisor for life or like at this stage. But
what do they call those, life coaches?
No, not a life coach. I don't prescribe to that garbage. Anyways, I think mentors are great though. Mentors are great, but I'm saying there's certain situations where I feel like financially to help yourself, you need those people around you to kind of try to help you out. What's an extra $250 to an accountant that can help you manage your accounts to make sure that you can somewhat get ahead, right? I was speaking to one of the younger boys in the office who was talking about, I get worried after I get paid because we get paid fortnightly and there's like a gap between my payments. Yeah. And I was kind of just like, well, I hear you, but like I'm sure there's other stuff that you can kind of cut out, create that buffer so that you're not feeling like that every pay run. So it's like, whatever it is, maybe for 6 months, you decide to sit there and be like, okay, I'm having a strict saving regime. I'm cutting out this, and this just for 6 months so I can increase my spending account. Still save and do whatever you need to do, but you're cutting down how much you're spending. Then once that 6-month period is over, you have a transaction account that looks kind of like a savings account, but it's not. It's money that you can actually use and not have to worry about, what if I don't get what if pay is different if you're working casual, or like what if I have a massive expense that I need to pay for? You're less worried because you're creating your own internal buffers. I think that's a big thing that Australians probably need to look into, is creating those internal buffers for yourself when these changes happen and you have no control over it.
Yeah, and that's probably really common with people's mortgages.
Yeah.
Everyone's borrowing right up to the limit of their capacity. Granted, not really their fault considering prices in the cities. But yeah, I think really the summary of what you just said is have a goal and have a plan.
Yeah.
I think it's as simple as that. Like, plan it out.
Yeah.
It's not going to go exactly to plan.
Yeah.
But if you're working towards it, like if you're working towards a goal, even if you take a few side streets, couple alleys, and end up back on the highway and up to your goal.
Yeah.
That's fine, because you could also, even on those like side streets, I'm digging into this metaphor, you could find, a restaurant that you never thought, your new favorite restaurant.
Yeah.
And in this case, it could be a career goal or a new option or a new opportunity that you didn't anticipate, but is a good thing anyway.
Yeah.
And you're not going to do that if you just sort of aren't doing anything.
Yeah.
So have a goal, have a plan, and do something.
Yeah. And just creating that safety net, right? There's look, I think it's sometimes for some people, it's hard when they see that extra money in their account and they're like, I could buy this, I could do this. And like everyone's guilty of it. Like everyone has those things that they spend money on that someone else would look at and be like, why are you spending money on this? But it just varies from person to person. So I think it's like kind of putting those things to the side for like your greater good.
Yeah.
To make sure that like if any of these changes are enacted and things happen, you're not feeling as if like my whole world is falling down because financially I'm strained because I wasn't prepared. Like I'm kind of a pessimist sometimes as well. So like preparing for the worst case scenario, like what happens if I'm not prepared? So prepare for that scenario. So then when it does happen, and it may never happen.
Yeah, but you won't be surprised.
But you rather be ready for it. What do they say? It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a wall. That's what it is, right? Like you're basically you're just ready. Like you're just ready.
I guess it's the same thing as the condom thing. It's like you'd rather have one and not need it than need it and not have one. The same thing, I guess.
It's the exact same thing. Mine's more like children friendly. Yours is more adult friendly. It's different.
And with that has been the Finance Show without Joe.
He's Michael.
That's Brian. We hope you enjoyed this one. And if you ever need any like mortgage broking, any finance, head over to itsimple.com.au. Hope you had a good one.